You are now witnessing the moment where Makarawu validated his status as the fastest 200-meter sprinter in all of college right now, which shouldn't be a surprise if you happen to notice that he was there in the Olympic 200-meter final in Paris. So yes, you are not winning an NCAA championship this season without going through him. But before I get into all that, allow me to clarify why I made this video. Because college track and field gets so little media coverage, it's nearly impossible to follow if you actually wanted to, which is why I've committed to bring it to you every week of the season. Because MLK weekend was a big deal. We had the collegiate leads and the records to back it up. More importantly, if you really want to win a national title, you basically kinda know now who you have to beat if you want to get it. But I also want to explain something based off of what I've been reading in the comments, because I do my best to try to cover, for the most part, all of the events. But I admit, I do focus a little bit more on the sprints than anything else. That said, I'm generally going to follow plot lines based off of who run the new collegiate lead and prove themselves as a contender for the national title in any given event. As far as the distance events are concerned, thanks to what they do at Boston U in December, there's not a whole lot to talk about right now, because the 5K record for the women already went down, as well as the 3K record, where 4 men broke that record in the same race. Being a collegiate leader always matters, but it matters a whole lot more when you put down a performance that's basically a lock to book you a ticket to the NCAA championship meet. And if you happen to be able to pull that off, I will do my best to try and pay attention. So this video might be a little bit longer than some of the others, because a lot went down this past weekend. And we gotta start it off on the ladies' side, because the women's 60-meter dash is a brand new collegiate leader. And no, it's really not close right now. Indya Mayberry of TCU is a freshman, but she is now the fastest woman in college on the clock. She ran 7.11 seconds to pull it off. She was the number 6 recruit in the entire class of 2024 coming into the season. So it's not that surprising that she's running fast. It is surprising, however, that she'd run faster than everybody else in college, because a whole bunch of other ladies did run fast this past weekend, like Desirez of USC, formerly of Florida State. But remember, only one person gets to be at the top of the leaderboard, and the gap on the clock between Indya Mayberry and everyone else makes it very clear that she is the woman to beat. Yet Carli of Baylor ran a brand new collegiate lead in the 200, and that time is pretty much a lock to book her tickets to the Nationals as well. But to be real with you, we're all holding our breath for Jamethia Ford of South Carolina to run her first 200 of the season. But until she gets around to doing it, she ran the 400 and came back with a new collegiate lead in that event. And although I wouldn't normally mention the 600, I'm gonna bring it up right now, because Sanu Jallow of Arkansas ran the second fastest time ever recorded in collegiate history. The woman who's ahead of her on that leaderboard is also from Arkansas, Britton Wilson. Yet I have to apologize to Megan Hunter of BYU, because she put down a collegiate lead in the 800 weeks ago, and nobody's been able to break it since that moment, even though Isabella Whitaker, once again of Arkansas, but formerly of UPenn, got dangerously close. But I did try to tell you that a collegiate record was going to fall. It was Laura Pellicoro of Portland in the women's 1000. Fortunately for the rest of the nation, it is not a championship event at the NCAAs, because we pretty much already know who would win it. But as far as the pole vault is concerned, we have a new collegiate leader. Julia Fixon of Virginia Tech took that lead by half an inch, and she did it over Bryn King, who is an Olympian, even though she represents a D2 program. So you have to take her seriously as a favorite at the championship meet, just like her teammate Sarah Killinen in the weight throw, because she is now the collegiate leader in that event. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Moving on to the men's side. A lot of people ran fast this past weekend in the 60-meter dash. And technically we have a new collegiate leader for Division 1. He's just not the actual collegiate leader. That would still be Barnabas Agur of NAIA William Carey University. But right behind him by 100th of a second are now Wanya McCoy of Florida, as well as Max Thomas of USC. The fact of the matter is that running 6.52 seconds in a 60-meter dash is incredibly hard to do. Only 2 men who came back to college this year have ever pulled it off. So it might take another week or 2, or perhaps till the end of the season before somebody else does it. But the 200-meter dash situation is nothing like that, because quite a few people ran fast, but it doesn't matter, because Carli Makarawu ran even faster. He ran 20.48 seconds indoors in the 200. So right about now he's the leader, and it's really not close. But to put it all in perspective, aside from the fact that he was an Olympic finalist in that event, which should be all the perspective that you really need, he ran even faster by this point last season, representing New Mexico Junior College. So simply put, Carli Makarawu is the real deal. You are not going to beat him if you do not have Olympic caliber speed, which is why the only 2 men who beat him out on the leaderboards for the Indoor 200 in 2024 happen to be there in Paris, also competing at the Olympics. Yet in the men's 800, the University of Washington proved they've got one of the best distance programs in the nation, and it's really not close. They went 1-2 in the 1600, and then 1-3 in the 800. I'm not making this up. As far as that team is concerned in the distance events, it really doesn't matter who is running in the uniform. The only thing that does is the Washington on their chest. But there's one more performance that we should have seen coming from a mile away. It's Johnny Brackens of USC in the 60 hurdles, because he was arguably the best hurdler last year in the NCAA. And the only person who might have a claim ahead of him isn't coming back this year. So yes, he is the collegiate leader again in that event. And it is a freshman, Alexander Solovev, representing Texas A&M, who is now the collegiate leader in the pole vault. But what BJ Green of Oklahoma did in the triple jump cannot be overlooked, because he's not just the new collegiate leader, he's basically raising the bar for that event, daring everybody else to go out there and catch him. He went 54 feet, 11.5 inches. So yeah, it's getting real out there. And although Tariq Robinson O'Hagan of Ole Miss still had the shot put on lock, we do have a new collegiate leader in the weight throw. It is Ryan Johnson of Iowa, who is staking his claim as the man to beat in that event. We're now approaching the midway point for the indoor track season, not just for the NCAA, but perhaps for the entire world. But the performances that we're going to witness at the NCAA Championship meet are going to be just about as competitive as anything you're going to see from the World Indoor Championships themselves. So if you really want to become a Division I All-American, you'd better have enough talent to prove that you are all-world. And the clock is definitely ticking, because you've only got 6 more weeks to go out there and show it. But remember, the lanes on a track do not discriminate. They really don't care at all what uniform you're wearing or what conference you compete for. You just have to go out there and prove it, because the clock is the only judge that matters. And remember, the clock does not lie. In the sport of track and field, race day is honestly the easy part, because all of the real work gets put in when nobody is watching. When you wear every day is training day gear, you can let the whole world know that your success in competition is not an accident. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below, and it always comes with free shipping. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.